absolute oneness of Allah, Tawheed. Islam does not permit any act that involves worship or reverence directed to anyone or anything other than the Creator, unquote. Prime Minister Modi has hit back, saying the mindset that divided the song in 1937 still divides the nation today. He said, and I quote, unfortunately in 1937, important stanzas of Vande Mataram, a part of its soul, was separated. The division of Vande Mataram also sowed the seeds of partition. Today's generation needs to know why this injustice was done with this Mahamantra of nation building. This divisive mindset is still a challenge for the country, unquote. Listen in, viewers.
की लड़ाई में वंदे मातरम की भावना ने पूरे राष्ट्र को प्रकाशित किया था, लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से 1937 में वंदे मातरम के महत्वपूर्ण पदों को, उसकी आत्मा के एक हिस्से को अलग कर दिया गया था। वंदे मातरम को तोड़ दिया गया था, उसके टुकड़े किए गए थे। वंदे मातरम के इस विभाजन ने देश के विभाजन के बीज भी बो दिए थे। राष्ट्र निर्माण का ये महामंत्र, इसके साथ ये अन्याय क्यों हुआ, ये आज की पीढ़ी को भी जानना जरूरी है, क्योंकि वही विभाजनकारी सोच देश के लिए आज भी चुनौती बनी हुई है।
Where the Congress has hit back, accusing the Prime Minister and the extended Saffron Parivar or the Sangh Parivar of hypocrisy, saying that the Sangh refused to, let alone chant the national song, never even chanted the national anthem or raised the tricolour at their functions at the RSS headquarters. Viewers, the Congress believes that what it has done in the interest of promoting communal harmony. But viewers, when the Prime Minister says that this division of the song sowed the seeds of separatism, what is he referring to? What do the facts tell us? And on this show, I always bring to you the hard facts so you can get closer to the truth, viewers. The reference being made by the Prime Minister is to Nehru's Congress, which in 1937 bowed to Muhammad Ali Jinnah's veto and dropped stanzas of Vande Mataram. Many believe that this concession sowed the seeds of partition. Here's a short timeline. In fact, viewers, in my own book, Modi in India, I have explored this. Under the chapter, they took the Hindu out of the Indian. In 1923, when Maulana Azad was party president of the Congress, Vande Mataram was sung, believe it or not, in full at all Congress events, especially when the working committee of the Congress sat. So there was never any redaction of any of the stanzas, and everybody under the presidentship of Maulana Azad sang this national song. At that time, of course, viewers, it was a hymn to the nation to encourage feelings of oneness in full. Jinnah's Muslim League then began opposing Vande Mataram to take Muslims out of the freedom struggle. Remember, the Muslim League was founded pretty much in the same year the RSS was founded. In 1937, bowing to Jinnah, Congress Working Committee under Nehru's presidentship decided to sing only the first two paragraphs of Vande Mataram. Yes, viewers, all the other paragraphs were dropped. In 1938, despite Nehru's concession, Jinnah wrote an article urging Muslims to not accept Vande Mataram in any form. As Bharat Mata, they said, viewers, can never be or can never replace the one true God. Their objection is that in free India, And this continues years. And I said, and I cited to you the example of that Muslim group that went on to say to oppose singing Vande Mataram is essential because it, quote, salutes Mother India depicted as a goddess, unquote. 8 decades later, we seem trapped in the same debate. Can Bharat Mata still be saluted by all her children, or must faith override fraternity? Are those that oppose Vande Mataram guilty of perpetuating the idea of Muslim separatism seeded by Jinnah? How can Ma Bharti not be a Mata for all Indians? These are some elemental questions. Let me go straight across to one of India's original thinkers, Mr. Ram Madhav, who joins us. He, of course, is the head of the India Forum and a long-time serving member of the RSS, who also, of course, an office holder and continues to be someone very involved in the BJP. The national executive member, no less, viewers. Mr. Ram Madhav, just set the context for us. The Prime Minister has suggested that certain forces inimical to the Indian concept of secularism decided to oppose Vande Mataram and then split it into acceptable stanzas and unacceptable ones, basically because they wanted to appease. That context, and the second part of my question would obviously be a response to the Congress charge.
The tragedy, Rahul, is that 150 years after the song first saw the light, it was in 1875 in October, the song first saw the light when it was published as part of the Anandmat novel. And 100 years after, the then Muslim League, the separatist element within India's independence movement, communal element in India's independence movement, invoked this false bogey of Muslim grievance against Vande Mataram. Unfortunate is today also, the Muslim groups in India, some groups, I'm not blaming all the Muslim groups, because today I saw in Jammu and Kashmir, in some other places, many Muslim students, Muslim institutions came forward to sing Vande Mataram with pride and with respect and devotion. But there are mullahs and maulvis in this country who are still raising the same rhetoric that was raised in 1923. You very rightly said, but between 1905 and 1923, in every All India Congress Committee meeting, Vande Mataram used to be sung. And all these Muslim leaders of Muslim League, including Ali brothers and everybody, they used to rise for that song along with the Hindu leaders like Gandhiji and others. But suddenly, in 1923, it was Maulana Muhammad Ali, not Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Maulana Muhammad Ali, one of the brothers of one of the Ali brothers. He raised this objection that it is against Islam, against our beliefs, etc., etc. It was purely a political bogey used at that time to put pressure on the Congress leadership to bargain more. The tragedy is Congress succumbed to those bargains. Congress went on giving concessions to the separatist elements. As Prime Minister pointed out, in 1937, it finally agreed to, to chop off the major part of Vande Mataram. The Vande Mataram that we know today, those two stanzas, are only 1/3 of the full song. That original song was chopped off. What Prime Minister said is partitioned in 1937. 10 years later, the whole country was partitioned. The classic example of how the Congress wrong policies of appeasing this separatist Muslim leadership. One of the victims was Vande Mataram, but there were several other things also. And the result was, of course, the national song was partitioned, but ultimately we faced country's partition also. I'm so surprised that Congress party, instead of standing up with the leaders like Gandhi and others, today standing up with these very Muslim leaders who refused to sing Vande Mataram. In 1939, Mahatma Gandhi writes in Harijan that I am so pained, so distressed that a song that I learnt in my childhood, which motivated me, inspired me, I never saw it as any Hindu song or a religious song. I always saw it as my utmost devotion to my country. And today that is made into a communal issue. I'm so shocked. This is what Gandhi wrote. Instead of taking that Gandhi's line, these leaders are towing the Nehruvian line, which is of succumbing to separatist forces, succumbing to these Islamist political elements. They are the ones who have to answer for what all happened in those 20 years leading to India's partition, how they compromised before the separatist forces, and even today, how they are indirectly supporting those forces.
So, Mr. Ram Madhav, the response from the Congress is also equally political, and they are saying that, look, don't preach to us nationalism and so forth. The RSS itself never sang the Vande Mataram or even the national anthem at its own headquarters or even raised the tricolour till much after independence. How do you respond to that?
First of all, if there is any one organization that kept Vande Mataram, the full song of Vande Mataram, alive to this day, it is the RSS, Rahul. You ask any congressman if he has the full text of Vande Mataram available with him. Whereas you see in every RSS school, the Vande Mataram is sung in full. I mean, I'm talking about that full 6-stanza song. Millions and millions of children have learnt the full song with pride. We are the ones who upheld Vande Mataram. We always respected national symbols. We always stood for national honor. We always, in our institutions, in our schools, everywhere, whichever institutions we ran, we always hoisted national flag. This allegation against us that we have not done it in some house or somewhere is totally false. In all our institutions, we always upheld the respect and honor of our national symbols. In fact, it is RSS which made Vande Mataram, the full Vande Mataram, popular. It is RSS which made Bharat Mata Ki Jai popular. It is RSS contribution which has created that kind of an invigorating kind of sense of patriotism in the country.
So, Mr. Ram Madhav, first things first, why isn't the government then moving to reinstate the entire Vande Mataram in public discourse, in public life, in institutions, in schools, and so forth? Why are we still only singing 2 stanzas? If the Prime Minister is so pained as he has expressed today, why shouldn't the government then say or decree that, look, this particular song must be sung in its entirety?
True. The reason probably for the government, I'm saying probably because I can't speak for the government, but probably is in 1950 and 24th January, our constitution had recognized Vande Mataram as the national song of India. A status was accorded to Vande Mataram constitutionally on 24th January 1950. And that song, which was accorded that national song status, was only 2 stanzas. So for the government, probably technically speaking, it is those stanzas, 2 stanzas that constitute Vande Mataram. Frankly speaking, let us first of all start with that. Let all of us sing Vande Mataram together. Even on that, today I see some Muslim clerics issuing fatwa, some saying that no, it's against our religious sentiments. And Congress is unfortunately supporting it. Now, on 2 stanzas, let me tell you, 10 years before that, in 1937, October, Congress in its national national convention, declared full Vande Mataram song as national song of India. In 1950, Constitution did it. But Constitution did the partition, truncated part of it. But the full song was accepted as national song by the Congress in 1937. But do you know, Rahul, 1 month later, a committee was formed with Jawaharlal Nehru, Rabindranath Tagore and Subhash Chandra Bose. They together decided, no, let us give up. Let us only have the 2 stanzas because Muslim League is objecting. Now, they are the ones who played this kind of communal politics with Vande Mataram. Now, they are blaming all others.
Well, Mr. Ram Madhav, thank you for that perspective. Always engaging to hear from you, always well researched. Thank you very much. Viewers, let's open this up to the wider panel to have a wider conversation. Hindol Sengupta, author and historian, joins us. Pradeep Bhandari, national spokesperson of the BJP. Atikur Rahman, an Islamic scholar. And Tariq Khan, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Let's open this up and let's ask some fundamental questions. Hindol Sengupta, the questions that are asked many occasions and the caveat that is adduced is that this is a Hindutva anthem, an ode to Hindu supremacy and revivalism. Even the first 2 paragraphs are that because they sing pains to Bharat Mata that is depicted as a goddess by certain aspects of our polity. How do you respond to this?
Sorry to say that these kind of toxic arguments have continued to divide our country. Actually, these are very strange opinions, Rahul. It is, let me tell you very clearly and honestly, if these kind of opinions were not given the oxygen by certain kind of ultra radical left leaning quote unquote thinkers and intellectuals and forced down the gauntlet of everybody in our country using political power, these sort of opinions would die their natural death. But we have continued and continue even today to support this kind of nonsense, which continues to toxify and vitiate our national atmosphere. I just want to, with your permission, read just one of the stanzas that we deleted. It says, Tumi vidya, Tumi dharmo, Tumi hridoy, Tumi mormo, Tavami prana shorire, Bahute Tumi ma shokti, hridoy Tumi ma bhakti, Tomare Protima Gori Mondire Mondire, saying that the divine force of the mother is in every nerve and sinew of the country, and in every temple of this country, the mother is worshipped. Now, if knowing our history, our geography, our sacred geography, our landscape, if we still think that this is too much for us to utter, then I'm afraid and I'm sorry to say there is no hope for our country. I repeat, Rahul, this is actually really a small section of people influenced by the toxic man Jinnah who say these things. These opinions would die a natural death if they are not supported by another group of equally toxic, if not more toxic, quote unquote, left leaning intellectuals and with political power. You take that away, all of this will die a natural death. We are purposely continuing to push this and continuing to allow these opinions to fester in our country. And of course, geopolitically also it makes great sense. The more divided we are, the more we fight on these things. Everybody is happy. Nobody wants India to rise. So therefore, I really think we should cut away the oxygen and say very clearly that this entire song is ours. It is the fundamental basis of our nationhood. Young men of 18, 16 went to the gallows singing this song, fighting for their motherland. They had everything to lose and they gave up everything for their motherland. Anybody who's too ashamed or feels that this is a problem from them, frankly, should not be in India. End of story.
Okay. Very strong views, but founded again in fact, viewers. Let's open this up. Let me bring in Tariq Khan, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Let me bring in Pradeep Bhandari, national spokesperson of the BJP. Also, of course, Atikur Rahman, an Islamic scholar. Atikur Rahman Saab, are those that oppose Vande Mataram guilty of perpetuating the idea of Muslim separatism seeded by Jinnah? It's a simple, straightforward question. The Prime Minister has signaled that he endorses this.
Rahul, it is so obvious that the fight with Vande Mataram is with the hardline Islamist and the hardline Hindutva forces. Both are equally responsible to toe the line for their selfish ends. And I'm thankful to you that you quoted Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. And also, it is quite crystal clear in Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir also, Muslims are singing it. And we have, and for me, it is the best
No,
of
they're
the
only
best
singing,
tradition.
one second, Mr. Rahman, they're only singing the redacted version, just the first two paragraphs. That's the problem. The Prime Minister says the entire song, if you are devoted to the motherland, you will invoke it. You will invoke it, you will also invoke the other very important symbols that are like the symbol of Shakti, for example, which makes us, the country, an agency for all of us. Why wouldn't you do that? Why would you just restrict it to two paragraphs?
Yeah, as you rightly questioned Mr. Ram Madhav, that why not officially the government of India?
No, but that can't be.
adopted-
No, hang on, one second. Let's take it step by step. Yes, I'll ask that question. I've already asked that question. But Atikur Rahman, would you be okay if tomorrow an amendment was moved to the Constitution saying that the entire song, 8 stanzas, should be sung?
That's why, I endorse your, inclusion of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. And I regard Maulana Abul Kalam Azad that when he was the president of the Congress and he was singing it, there shouldn't be any objection to any
Okay,
Muslim.
Atikur
Because he was
Rahman.
the foremost Muslim scholar.
All 8 stanzas should be sung. If they were good enough for Maulana Azad Sahab, they should be good enough for everybody else. Why draw a line at 2 paragraphs?
Is this for me, Rahul?
No, Mr. Khan.
Fine.
Sir, you heard the question.
Yes. No, please repeat. Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Sir, the question was, as you heard Atikur Rahman Saab, that if it was okay for Maulana Azad Saab, a great son of India, to sing all the stanzas, all the paragraphs, the full Vande Mataram, why shouldn't it be acceptable to all Muslims?
When few of the stanza was deleted, in that committee, Bose was also there. Bose was also the member of that committee. Point number 1. Point number 2. Let me raise some few of the question. On 24th of January, national anthem Jan Gan Man adopted by our Samvidhan Sabha. Okay, majority were the Hindu members. It had been adopted by Samvidhan Sabha. You want to change it? You are in majority. There is no one to stop you. It's between why you are making a Hindu-Muslim conflict. Always something happened that become a Hindu-Muslim conflict. Why? You are in power. That was Jawaharlal Nehru who changed that. Now today you are in power. Change it. No Muslim.
Do you endorse?
No one is going to challenge you. Nobody is saying anything. Let me quote the judgment of Supreme Court in 1986. There was a judgment. Three Christian boys were suspended from the school because they didn't sing Jan Gan Man. Listen to me. In 1986, in historic verdict of these 3 children, Supreme Court says, what Supreme Court says, मैं हिंदी में पढ़ता हूं, राष्ट्र गाना अनिवार्य नहीं है, अगर कोई धार्मिक कारण से मना करे मगर सम्मान दिया जाना चाहिए. These are the words of Supreme Court in 1986. The case was Bijoy versus State of Kerala. Number 1. Number 2. In 2000, State government of Bihar has said that in school there would be mandatory Vande Mataram. Again, Supreme Court quoted 1986 judgment that at that time Supreme Court says that is not mandatory. National anthem not about national song. They have said in 1986 about national anthem. In 2018, Supreme Court says when in 2016 government mandated that in all cinema halls before starting any movie, national anthem is compulsory. In 2018, Supreme
Tariq Khan
Court
Saab,
also said it's not
we are not
compulsory.
talking about the anthem. We are talking about the national song, Vande Mataram.
I am also talking about Vande
My
Mataram.
question is this. Would you support any move by the government to bring in an amendment to say that the entire song, all 8 stanzas should be sung? And that the redacted version, I'm saying...
Let them...
I'm asking you to tell me, what is your stand on that?
Few of the stanza was deleted in 1937.
Do you support
Mahatma
that?
Gandhi, Jawaharlal
Do
Nehru.
you support
Listen to
it?
me.
No, do you support
10 seconds. Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose and Maulana Azad, 4 members of that committee, which said that few of the stanzas should delete it. 3 of them were Hindu. 1 person was that in that committee, that was Maulana Azad. So in 1937, when few of the stanza was deleted, so
Mr.
majority
Khan,
was
the Prime
Hindu at
Minister
that time.
says,
Even today majorities are
the
Hindu.
Prime Minister says that was appeasement politics. It was wrong to make that concession because that paves the way for further fracturing. It is perpetuating the idea of Muslim separatism that was seeded by Jinnah. Should that now...
I just want a simple answer for BJP where they want to replace Vande Mataram with Jan Gan Man. If they want, they can move it. They can
I don't
move
think
it to
that's
the
the
Lok
question.
Sabha.
Pradeep Bhandari, respond
Simple
please.
question.
Pradeep Bhandari, respond. You're making this a Hindu-Muslim issue when it is not.
Well, Rahul, first of all, the nation today bows down to Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay and Rabindranath Thakur ji. Rabindranath Thakur ji in 1896 in the Calcutta session of the Congress sang the entire Vande Mataram for the first time. So as per the logic of Abu Azmi and Shafiqur Rahman Burke, both of them have opposed the singing of Vande Mataram. In fact, Shafiqur Rahman Burke from the Samajwadi Party had walked out of the parliament. Do they believe that Rabindranath Tagore was communal? In fact, let me tell you further, the session in which Rabindranath Tagore sang the Vande Mataram, it was presided by a congressman, Rayatullah Sahani. So a Muslim congressman presided over it. So what was the inflection point? The inflection point was 1937 Firozpur session of the Congress, which was presided by Jawaharlal Nehru, where Jawaharlal Nehru bowed down to Jinnah's appeasement politics, which sowed the seeds of partition. Because neither, whether it is the Hindus or the Muslims in Bengal, both of them used it as a rallying cry against partition of Bengal by the Britishers. Everybody sang it till Congress party started to succumb to Muslim League. The opposition to the entire Vande Mataram came from Sayyid Ali Imam, Maulana Muhammad Ali and Muhammad Ali Jinnah. All of them belong to the Muslim League. The point here is not about Hindus and Muslims. The point here is about the Congress party under Nehru and Rahul Gandhi always catering to the fundamentalists in the Muslim community. Whether it is the Shahbano case where they had to stand with the constitutionalism and Muslim daughters, they stand with the radicals. Whether it is the Supreme Court speaking and making that instantaneous triple talaq was unconstitutional, the Congress party opposed it. So whether it is Nehru who got the Uniform Civil Code or Nehru who succumbed to the appeasers in 1937, why is it that the Gandhi Vadra family makes it Hindu Muslims? In fact, it is they supporting the soft separatists, supporting the radical fundamentalists, supporting the Sikhs of partition and saying it is Hindu Muslim. In fact, Hindus and Muslims both sang it. So do the opposition parties in principle agree that the entire Vande Mataram should be sang? Let's have it. I invite the Congress party, I challenge the Samajwadi party to have Akhilesh Yadav, Abu Azmi, Azam Khan together and decide a date. We will all sing the entire Vande Mataram together. We've recited the entire Vande Mataram today. Can the Samajwadi party and Congress do so?
Tariq Khan, respond. Straight question to you tonight. Procedure. Straight question. The one that I asked you evaded. BJP is now asking you that question. Will you support a move to legislate, to change, to amend the constitution, to legislate that the entire song should be sung? All stanzas.
Okay. Do they have any type of draft to bring those things in parliament in any
Will you
house?
Support it, sir?
Any type of bill?
Will you support it? Will you support it?
That would be decided. That would be decided by the party. But if they are doing politics, don't do politics.
In principle, Mr. Khan, in principle, would you support it?
Bring it on the table.
In principle, would you support it?
Bold.
In principle.
Bring it on the table.
Let me just wrap this up. Viewers, look, this baiting game will continue between the two till, of course, the facts are made available. Now, Hindu Sen Gupta, I just want to ask you, bringing back all the 8 stanzas, would that make people uncomfortable? Is it because the song itself is communal in nature? And that's why there are a large number of Muslims who want to, in a manner of speaking, want to have some sort of a cleansed, kosher version of this song. I think you're on mute, sir. Yeah.
This will only cause controversy today, Rahul. So many decades of pushing this idea that this is controversial, of telling people and supporting and giving oxygen to this idea that this is controversial. If we never gave that oxygen and never, I think from day one, said that no, now, well, whatever's happened in partition has happened. Now in independent India, this is our national song, end of story. And as you yourself mentioned, clearly Maulana Azad had no problem with it. If Maulana Azad had no problem with it, who are the people who have problem with it? And what is their issue? We have given oxygen to this for so many decades. So of course it's now controversial. We shouldn't have given oxygen to all these days, and it wouldn't have been controversial.
Well, viewers, we've heard this. Perhaps the time has come to move some sort of an amendment and legislate on reinstating the entire song. And then we would know, viewers, who are those in the shadows who will step forth and oppose. Perhaps the time has come to test those waters. We leave it at that, viewers. Moving on. Viewers, every opposition politician has the right to ask questions. We're a democracy. We're an open society. And opposition parties must be empowered to ask these questions, particularly of institutions that are tasked with being watchdogs of the democratic framework of the nation. In fact, democracy would be dead if the opposition was unable to ask questions which they believe would serve the public interest. But what if the language of righteous outrage is replaced with reckless demagoguery? Has Priyanka Gandhi Vadra crossed that fine line? These questions loom as she launches into a no-holds-bar, highly accusatory attack on the 3 election commissioners. Viewers, listen to her first before we open this up. Listen to her.
कभी ज्ञानेश कुमार नाम सुना है? सुना है? नहीं सुना होगा. कभी आपने SS सांधू का नाम सुना है? नहीं सुना होगा. कभी विवेक जोशी का नाम सुना है? नहीं सुना होगा, क्योंकि अपने पद और आयोग के पीछे छुपे हुए हैं. चुनाव आयोग के सबसे ऊंचे अधिकारी जो इस देश के संविधान के साथ, इस देश के लोकतंत्र के साथ खिलवाड़ कर रहे हैं. आपके अधिकारों के साथ खिलवाड़ हो रहा है. आपके अधिकारों को छीना जा रहा है और यही 3 लोग छीन रहे हैं. इनके नाम मत भूलो, इनको पद के पीछे छुपने मत दो, इनको आयोग के पीछे छुपने मत दो. ये देश बहुत उदार है, सुन लीजिए तीनों.
Viewers, there's a lot more, and we had to edit this particular soundbite because we don't want to incite violence against the personages of these 3 individuals. So many, including long-standing observers of politics, believe Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has crossed a dangerous line. Social media is furiously debating the tone and motives of her words. Some say that by publicly naming top election commission officials and accusing them of, quote, snatching away, unquote, people's rights, she's not engaging in democratic dissent, but courting vigilantism, with her party still unable to substantiate claims of vote chori. Priyanka's rhetoric looks less like a defense of democracy and more like an incitement against its institutions, viewers. That's what a lot of people are saying. In a volatile political climate, some personalized attacks risk turning public frustration into mob fury. We have the examples littered around us in the subcontinent, viewers. I don't need to annotate. And if unchecked, if this complete motivation to turn public frustration into mob fury is left unchecked, it could set a precedent where every election officer becomes fair game for political vendetta. Is this a valid concern, viewers? Let's open this up to debate. And I want to ask these questions tonight. First, let me begin by going across to Pradeep Bhandari. Pradeep Bhandari, what do you make of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's, frankly speaking, chilling commentary? Do you categorize this as an invocation to vigilantism, of criticism turning into intimidation, or do you believe this is, fair questioning of an authority that finds itself in controversy?
Well, Rahul, and I say this with a lot of sincerity and a lot of responsibility at my hand, that both Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Vadra are attempting to create a democratic deficit in this country, and they are doing so by repeating a lie 1000 times. Because the Gandhi Vadra family has understood that they neither have the organization, neither they have the wherewithal, stamina or the public support in order to democratically come to power in the country. So when the Gandhi Vadra family for the first time historically has been out of system and out of power for 11 consecutive years, has now started to question the democratic framework of this country. This is not mere criticism. This is attempt to incite. Please note what she says. She asked the voters, "Chup kyun baite ho?" She shows, this is a real incitement. She goes further and names the election commissioner. Recall how in the past Prime Minister Narendra Modi was personally abused by Rahul Gandhi कि युवा उनको डंडे से मारेंगे. In fact, the Supreme Court was also not spared by Rahul Gandhi. And why do I say all of this? Because when Rahul Gandhi was asked a question in his press conference that if you have facts at your table, if you believe in what you are saying, why do not go to the Supreme Court of India and challenge the entire election commission? But Rahul Gandhi refused to do so. So if a man who is questioning the India's democratic framework and who is being fact checked by the media, including your channel, that whatever he is saying in Haryana is fake news, false, he's been fact checked by his own organization in Haryana, which is saying they lost the election because of organizational weakness. Why is it that he's continuously lying? He is doing so because he knows that if this lie sticks once, and even if 1 lakh individuals come on the street and they attempt to create anarchy, how they have done it in various other countries, that is how he will profit from chaos. This is dangerous. It is not political opposition. This is dangerous to Indian state. And I believe that we all in public life should debate this. What should be the fine on an individual, or what should be the restriction on an individual who's continuously questioning not a political party but India's democratic framework, because the essence of Indian constitution is free and fair election, and without any merit and without any proof, without going to the court, how can such an individual be stopped? That is what has to be debated, because Rahul Gandhi clearly is not stopping. It is not about the BJP, it is about India's democracy which he is challenging and questioning.
Okay, so Nikhil Jain, the sum and substance of the BJP argument is the following: that this is no longer dissent. When you come out and say, "Chup kyun baithe ho," this is an invocation to vigilantism.
Rahul, I think Pradeep is quite an erudite spokesperson. You don't need to put a sum and substance to what he said. I think the viewers have heard that. I have heard that. Tariq Bhai has heard that. Let me just respond to what the charges that he's leveling. First of all, chup kyun baithe ho? What do you expect the voters of the country, what do you expect the citizens of the country when their votes are being stolen, when their votes are being cut, when the electoral process, the democratic process, the very democratic fabric of this country is being meddled with? They must raise their voice. They must come out on the streets. They must protest. They must lodge their protest before the country, before everybody, and let the election commissioners know that you cannot play with democracy, with the democracy of India like that. The democracy that the Indian state, the Indian people, and the Indian government,
like the Dadis of Shaheen Bagh did. That's what you want?
Like the farmers of Punjab did, like the Dadis of Shaheen Bagh did, like the students in Uttarakhand are doing, like the students in Bihar did, like the students in Gujarat are doing, like the people of India are doing. My friend Rahul Shiv Shankar, we live in a democratic country. Many people have laid their lives. We laid our people from the Congress party laid their lives, as did others, for us to get independence, for us to be a Republican state, not not something that is run by bureaucrats or not something that is run by a corrupt politician.
Viewers, there is a distinction here. You can ask, for example, the Supreme Court chup kyun baithe ho, pushing them to taking suo motu action. You could ask the CEC, chup kyun baithe ho, come out, face us, let's have a press conference, let's have a public debate. In fact, viewers, the CEC has invited Rahul Gandhi, had given him a 1-week timeline to file an affidavit with all his accusations.
That the CEC is not the king of the country.
Excuse me, sir, please.
They have no right to be ordering and summoning people in their court.
Can you allow me, sir, please?
It's not about...
Listen, 1 minute, I'll have to lower your fader. I'm sick of Mr. Jain constantly cutting people off. That's not right. Give me 30 seconds. I don't want your... Listen, I don't want your gyan every day. Listen, I asked you a question. Stop shouting. I'm lowering your fader. This is not a 1, 2, 3. Lower his fader, please. This is ridiculous, viewers. Someone can't have a different point of view in this nation anymore. You have to go there as yes men everywhere. What sort of entitled culture is this? Okay, just 1 second, viewers. There is a difference between asking an institution to wake up and the people to wake up. And he says, yes, just like the Dadis of Shaheen Bagh. Who asked the Dadis of Shaheen Bagh to pack up and leave? Who asked the farmers who were blocking our borders to pack up and leave? It was the Supreme Court, because they said that their occupation was illegal. The Supreme Court itself has come out and said this. So they want an illegality to be perpetuated. That's why I asked him this question. And he fell for it, hook, line and sinker. Anyhow, let me just bring in Pradeep Bhandari as well as the Samajwadi Party spokesperson. Does he back what Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has said? Yes. Pradeep Bhandari, first your response to Nikhil Jain. Yeah.
Well, Rahul, Nikhil spoke about everything in the world but did not stick to facts. Let me just ask a simple question and put a simple argument. Can Nikhil quote me a single instance when Nikhil and his party has gone to the Honorable Court and the Honorable Court has found merit in his allegations on India's electoral process? One example. Because he's saying that vote chori has happened.
Okay,
now,
respond.
if he does not believe in the Supreme Court of India, then this is definitely the emergency mindset.
Okay,
Please tell me one instance.
Respond. Nikhil Jain, respond.
All right. So I'll just respond to the spokesperson of the election department of the BJP or the election commission, as they like to call it. The opposition
Don't
did
be
go
a
to
child,
the Supreme
Nikhil.
Court challenging
You are being a
the SI.
child.
No, I'm not being
now
a
you
child.
are being a child and a crybaby. No, I don't know. You are being a child and a crybaby. Be a wise man. Do not be a balabuddhi like Rahul. Answer me. No, you are being a
Pradeep.
to me. Do not
One
act
second.
like a
Nikhil Jain, there's no need to be personal and hit people below the belt. Nikhil Jain, no, one second. Nikhil Jain, he never, one second, gentlemen, Lord, everyone's faders, please. Nikhil Jain, please, observe the limits of the debate. He never hit back at you and called you a spokesperson of this, that, the other. He never hit you below the belt. He didn't say anything that you have taken objection to in the past that other spokespersons have said about you. Don't say that about him. That's not right. That's really pullulating this debate with rhetoric which we don't need. Let's put facts back on the table. So, Mr. Jain, respond to him.
Rahul, I don't like to hit below the belt. I have the greatest of regard and
Let's
respect
go on,
for my
move
friend
on,
Pradeep.
move on. It's done now.
And
Move on.
It's just funny to me that you think that
please,
me
let's
calling
get
him a
to-
spokesperson of the
let's
election
get to-
commission is hitting below the belt.
It is
Let's get to the point.
it is
Are you
not
saying
needed.
election commission
The
is a
election
despicable
commissioner has
body?
come out. The election commissioner has come out and held press conferences not once but 3 times. He has issued
Never answered
statements
the question
just
straight.
yesterday. But why don't you
Never
answer the
answered
question?
the question straight.
Why don't you?
All right, I'll answer the
That's
question.
a subjective.
The Congress
that's a
party and the
subjective
opposition-
opinion that you hold. Others might disagree with you. So come back to the facts. Let's talk about the facts.
To the
He's asked you a
facts.
question.
To the
Show
facts.
me
The
one instance
the
where a
facts.
vote has been stolen and you have gone to the court and said this vote was stolen. Can you give us justice? One instance. Please
All
respond.
right. Yes. I'll tell you 2 instances. Instance number 1, during the SIR hearings, which were filed by the opposition, represented in court by Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who's a tall leader of the Congress, a member of parliament from the Congress, it was presented before the court that several people had been wrongfully deleted in the draft SIR roll. The Election Commission vehemently denied that until the opposition produced those individuals who were declared dead. And we all remember they also
Again
had tea
lying.
and coffee with Rahul Gandhi. And
Lying.
their names were directed to
Lying.
be included.
Lying.
Number two.
lying.
1 minute, let him
Haryana,
finish.
lying on your
Pradeep
show.
Bhandari, let
You
him
are lying.
finish. I will
You are
give
lying.
you. I will
good.
give you the opportunity
Good.
to
Good.
respond,
Good.
please.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Next point.
Thank you so much, Rahul.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Next point. In Haryana, during Sarpanch elections that were conducted about 2.5 years ago, the BJP candidate was declared a winner. The opposition candidate, a Congress-backed candidate, approached the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court called in the EVMs, and the Supreme Court found that there was meddling in the elections. And the Supreme Court directed the overturning of the results of an election 2.5 years ago. So there have been multiple
Okay,
instances.
now
when
stop.
the Congress party
Now stop. Now you made 2 points. Now viewers, I just want to very quickly point out 2 facts. He said that Abhishek Manu Singhvi, the lawyer, said that there were wrongful deletions. Viewers, wrongful deletions doesn't mean that votes were cast. Okay. So yes, there have been mismanagement. There are double people with 3 entries in certain poll records. That is administrative laxity. You have to still prove that that was born out of a malicious attempt at malfeasance. That link has not been made, number 1. Number 2, on the Haryana incident, viewers, again, EVMs were the target, not voter lists, not SIR. 2 different issues. Let's not cloud them. Yes, Pradeep Bhandari, quick response, please. And then I want to bring it. One second. Now it's done. I just let him respond. Let him, and there's also the Samajwadi Party spokesperson who's waiting. Yes.
Nikhil,
Yeah.
Rahul, Nikhil is getting lot worked up on your show. I do not know why. Basically, he's speaking falsehood. But let me just quote the Congress to expose the Congress. On October 16, 2025, the newly appointed Haryana Congress chief This is not what I am saying. This is what the Congress party is saying, the newly appointed chief. And I quote him, Rao Narendra Singh says, we lost the elections in Haryana in 2024 because of lack of organizational structure. There was no vote chori. So if this is the stand of the newly appointed Haryana Congress president, fact number 2, the essence of the argument of the Congress party was SIR was unconstitutional. The Supreme Court declared SIR as a voter-friendly process, and on which only Bihar elections has recorded the highest voting percentage, where even the Congress BLS participated.
Okay, so
again I reiterate, where in essence is what the Rahul
viewers,
said.
why are we going down this rabbit hole?
Nowhere.
Why are we going down this rabbit hole of facts? Because what has Priyanka Gandhi Vadra said? She has said, these 3 people are snatching away your rights. What are these rights? To elect somebody legally. Right, viewers? This is what she says. She's based it as a fact. The reason we went into the facts, viewers, is because there is no conclusive evidence. There's a lot of talk. There's circumstantial talk. And therefore, viewers, you can't conclude that votes were stolen. If votes were stolen, how is it that Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, at the age of 50 whatever, suddenly decided to become a member of parliament and got elected? If anything,
can I please respond to that?
1 second. I'm now going to get the Samajwadi Party spokesperson in, please. She would never have won that election, viewers. Her brother wouldn't have won an election in Uttar Pradesh also. A person that they put against Smriti Irani would have lost that election, but he won. Relatively unknown person, viewers. A large number of seats in 2024 that went to the Samajwadi Party and the Congress against the run of form, remember, against all the exit poll predictions, would not have been won by the SP or the Congress. And viewers, fundamentally, you would not have had a verdict in Telangana in favor of the Congress, a sweep in Telangana. You would not have had a verdict in favor of the Congress in Himachal Pradesh, a high-stakes election. You wouldn't have had a verdict in favor of the Congress, viewers, even, and let me tell you, in an election where they have doubled their numbers. Think about that. And most importantly, and I want to ask the Samajwadi Party this, sir, I'm coming back to what Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is saying. She's passing judgment on the CEC, and she's calling for people to wake up and don't let them hide behind their positions. Those who are betraying the country will not be forgotten by the nations. Go find them. What is this if not intimidation? आपका judgment थोड़ी चलेगा, sir. Court का judgment चलता है यहाँ पर.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, that's all right. Let me say something.
Yes,
you said that there is mismanagement. Okay, you said that there is some type of problem or whatever allegation has been made by Rahul Gandhi. Some of them were said. Who are to fix them? Who will come forward to fix them? If someone from China, some from Nepal, they'll come and fix all these things. It's not the responsibility of Election Commission to fix all this. And another point, thing happens. My name has been deleted willfully by somebody who don't want me to cast my vote. Now, every time, whenever something happened, all people say, go to court, go to court, go to court. What is the work of ECI? And what is all the taxpayer money is giving to these election commissioner and everybody? What they'll do? They'll do nothing. They'll support Bharatiya Janata Party. This is not the framework of our constitution.
Sir,
Makers
I am talking
don't
to
want
you.
this to happen.
Are you saying right now that there is conclusive proof of vote chori? And if so, can you show me one?
There has been.
No, show me. Point out. Name. What?
There has been. There has been.
Where?
There has been. Mr. Sinha.
Mr. Sinha has come out and explained that he had actually filed to remove his name. Why? You can change your location. You don't have to be married to one particular part of this country, sir. I mean, you had Dr. Manmohan Singh. One second, you had Dr. Manmohan Singh entering Rajya Sabha from Assam. वहाँ पर कहाँ से कोठी आ गई उनकी?
Some action.
I mean, come on.
This, if a MP is doing this.
Okay, one second. Listen, viewers, the point here is not about, hang on. If you have a problem with the Election Commission, go file an FIR against the election commissioners. Use the process that is available to you. Not street anarchy, not inciting, as Nikhil Jain is saying, the people to come out onto the streets like they've done in Nepal, like they came out in this Shaheen Bagh,
I never said that.
as they come out
Rahul,
in,
don't
as they come out
twist
in
my
the
words.
borders
I never
of
said that.
Delhi,
I never
the
said
farmers
that.
came, the shops touting.
never mentioned
Everyone heard you,
Nepal.
sir.
I never
Everyone heard
mentioned
you.
Nepal.
Everyone heard you, because that's what it led to. Okay. At Shaheen Bagh, you said, yes, come out there. What do you think was happening in Shaheen Bagh? A party. Thousands of people lost their livelihoods. Do you know this? No. What do you think happened at the borders of Delhi? Do you know how much loss to the exchequer was taking place on a daily basis? Anyhow, viewers have settled this argument. The fact is, certain lines have been crossed. And there has to be accountability for crossing legal lines. I just hope that the Election Commission moves to take action. Only then will this stop. Viewers, I leave it to this. A very interesting conversation coming up, which is close to all our hearts. It's about well-being. And I'm speaking tonight, viewers, with one of the greatest cardiologists in this country. There has been a sweeping number of heart ailments that have been claiming lives across the nation. Let's go straight across to him. Let me begin by asking you some basic questions. Dr. Shetty, we know cholesterol is essential for cell membranes, hormone production, and brain function. Yet, high levels of LDL, bad cholesterol, are linked to atherosclerosis. In your view, and whenever I look at my blood report, I do get a few jitters. In your view, is the framing of high cholesterol equals bad too simplistic now?
First of all, Rahul, I just want to make it very clear that I can produce few thousand patients with very abnormal cholesterol and very bad coronary artery disease. Also, I can produce equal number of patients with very bad coronary arteries with normal cholesterol.
Oh.
So, we are spending too much of time and losing our sleep reading the results of cholesterol. Cholesterol in very high level, yes, it makes a difference. What is important is that cholesterol has done the damage to your heart. That is where we are missing. If a patient has slightly elevated cholesterol level and his CT scan of the heart doesn't show any blockages, then there is no point in him losing the sleep over the cholesterol. There is no point. So essentially what we are missing in India and all over the world is we debate so much about cholesterol without really understanding the foundation of the problem. The foundation of problem is, has that cholesterol damaged the coronary arteries? Today we have excellent machines called CT scanners, which is available on every street of India, where people can spend just few seconds and get a picture of their coronary arteries. And if it is normal, then you can forget about the cholesterol.
What you're saying is that one marker that everyone relied on, the stress test, for example, tells you very little actually.
Yes, Rahul, stress test to be positive, the blockage should be more than 70%.
Wow.
If the blockage is less than 70%, stress test will become negative. When the blockage becomes 70%, you have already lost the battle. You can't reverse it. When the blockage is 5%, 10%, you may retard the progression of the disease. And you see, you talked about the fitness. I'll give you simple data. Maybe today, sometime when you are free, just Google FIFA, FIFA, Federation of Football Association of Federation of Football Association.
Yes.
Then you type cardiac arrest. Then you see series of articles about FIFA documentation of the cardiac arrest, and you will clearly see that 617 professional footballers had a cardiac arrest during practice session. This is what is documented. An undocumented cardiac arrest will be 10 times more. In 4 years.
Wow.
Just 4 years. Now, who can be fitter than a professional footballer who is still in his 20s?
True.
Right? So, this is the problem. We always feel that if we can run a marathon or a run on a treadmill for 1 hour, sweat every day, we think we are fit. That is very sad, because all they have to do is once a year get the test done, then you can jump on the treadmill, you can climb Mount Everest, no problem. You may climb Mount Everest twice in a month and ask me to certify you as a fit person. I won't do it. I'll congratulate you, but I won't say you are a fit person, because you can climb Mount Everest even with a very advanced cancer or even with the advanced blockage, because half the patients across the world with advanced coronary artery disease have no symptoms. It is called silent ischemia, and silent ischemia leads to silent heart attack. They will develop a heart attack, they will not know.
If viewers are now watching, just reiterate, what are these 3 or 4 tests that you believe are most critical?
Yeah, apart from the blood test, they should go for an echocardiogram of the heart. They should go for the ECG and a cardiac CT angio or a calcium score at least, a CT scan of the heart in simple terms, to know whether the abnormal cholesterol has affected the heart. And if it has affected the heart, if it has affected we can do a carotid Doppler to find out whether it has affected the arteries. If the arteries are all clean, if the heart is clean, of course we should do everything possible to reduce the cholesterol level, but I wouldn't go to the extreme form of very high dose of all these medicines and starting the medicine from from day one. First, get lifestyle modification, dietary changes, weight loss, and if all the thing doesn't work, maybe they can start with a small dose of lipid lowering drugs to see whether it will make a difference. But we are not very aggressively following up with this lipid lowering strategy because patient at the age of 50 hasn't developed any damage to the coronary arteries. Very, very unlikely that they will develop from beginning at the age of 50, very unlikely. Coronary artery disease always starts at a very, very young age.
So you're suggesting that perhaps all these tests must be taken earlier in life. You shouldn't leave it till you're in your 40s or 50s.
Yes.
So when would you be recommending these tests?
Lipid profile should be done when you're 17, 18-year-old.
Wow, that young, is it? That young? Wow, that's
Rahul,
amazing.
you see, it's very interesting. Cardiology Society of India, which is relatively conservative body, even they have come up with their guidelines that every Indian child, boy or a girl, at the age of 17 should get the blood profile done for abnormal lipid profile. And if it is, they have to be warned about what can happen if they don't control their lifestyle.
Which would mean good diet, more exercise, perhaps taking on less stress, better sleep. These are the default prevention mantras.
No, more than that, Rahul, more than that, cigarette and junk food.
Yeah, that's the killer, isn't it?
And lack of exercise.
Yeah. That's really the killer. That really is a bad combination. Yes, if you are somebody who is predisposed to exercising, and when you say exercising, sir, how much exercise? Is it 20 minutes a day? Is it intense exercise? Some people we have seen have passed away. An actor, very famous actor, passed away doing a lot of weights. They said that it was because of that. What is the correlation between exercise and health?
Okay, let me come back, Rahul. Whoever actor you're talking about who died, if he had a CT scan of the heart 10 years earlier, he wouldn't have died. I can tell you that. Right? Now, what is the best exercise? I recommend everyone to wear a smartwatch.
Okay.
It is mandatory. And everyone should walk 8,000 to 10,000 steps every day.
Okay.
I don't know most of you, most of the people who are watching, but I know that they are not walking more than 3,500 steps. Okay. Now, why walking 8,000, 10,000 steps important? There are a series of articles mainly published in JAMA, that's one of the reputed American journals, which clearly, and they followed up people for years and years, people who walked 10,000 steps every day, they had less incidence of heart attack, less incidence of liver problem, less incidence of Alzheimer's, you name the disease, the incidence is significantly less on whom people, with people who walked 10,000 steps every day. So, my recommendation for everyone is to have a smartwatch and walk 10,000 steps every day. Now, it is not like walk in the morning or walk in the evening. Most of us today are sitting from morning till evening. Most of us are sitting. So, of course, when we are working, today working is sitting. No, but very few people do things with their hand. Everybody is doing things with their laptop. So, whenever you are sitting, every hour, get up and walk for 5 minutes. That's all. And whenever you are on the phone, use your earphone, then start walking. Walking, talking while walking.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
First up, a CNN News 18 exclusive. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has spoken to CNN News 18 addressing two crucial national security matters, the ceasefire of Operation Sindoor and India's future nuclear policy. On Operation Sindoor ceasefire, Rajnath Singh has made it clear once again that it was agreed upon and declared after the request of the Pakistani DGMO. He emphasized that India did not suspend the operation due to any pressure or instances from anyone. And addressing the issue of conducting future nuclear tests, the Defence Minister has adopted a firm stance stating whoever wants to do whatever, let them do it. He clarifies that India's decisions on this matter will be guided solely by national interest. Whatever is in the interest of India will be done.
डोनाल्ड ट्रंप जी ने कहा है कि पाकिस्तान न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट कर रहा है। उन्होंने ये कहा है कि रशिया और चाइना जो आज कर रहे हैं, इसको देखते हुए, इसको नजर रखते हुए हो सकता है अमेरिका भी ऐसा कुछ करने का प्रयास करे, कुछ
करना चाहता है, करे।
जी, भारत इसका क्या करेगा? क्या भारत भी कुछ न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट करेगा? ये सवाल है मेरा।
भारत क्या करेगा ये तो भविष्य ही बतलाएगा, लेकिन जिसको जो करना है वो करे। हमें इस संबंध में कुछ नहीं कहना है। चाहे पाकिस्तान कर रहा है, चाहे अमेरिका कर रहा है, तो जिसको जो करना है कर रहा है।
तो भारत
यह मानकर चलिए कि भारत किसी भय के कारण अथवा किसी दबाव में कोई कदम नहीं उठाता है। जो भारत को भारत के इंटरेस्ट में उचित लगेगा वही कदम हम उठाएंगे।
सही समय पे करेगा।
सही समय पर सही कदम उठाएंगे।
जी, ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के बाद मैं आपसे पहली बार बात कर रहा हूं। मुझे याद है 2024 में आपने कहा था ये भारत वो भारत नहीं है, घर में घुस कर मारेगा। आपने इतने जोरों से बोला था कि पूरे इंटरनेशनल मीडिया ने भी उसको उठाया।
ये सच साबित करके दिखा दिया।
जी, तो इसी पर मैं आ रहा था कि ये आपने सच साबित करके भी दिखाया ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में। पर कुछ लोगों का मानना है कि बहुत जल्दी हाथ पीछे खींच लिए, इतनी जल्दी रुक क्यों गए? वो लोग चाहते थे कि थोड़ा और जोरों से पाकिस्तान को
मैं इसे पूरी तरह से स्पष्ट कर देना चाहता हूं कि बराबर पाकिस्तान के डीएमओ की तरफ से टेलीफोन आ रहे थे।
जी,
उनके टेलीफोन आने के बाद तब ये हुआ। माने हम लोग युद्ध पिपासु नहीं हैं।
जी,
कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो बराबर चाहते हैं कि युद्ध हो, कन्फ्रंटेशन हो। भारत ऐसा नहीं चाहता है कभी। यदि बार बार उनकी तरफ से आग्रह हो रहा है कि नहीं, अब इसे स्थगित किया जाना चाहिए, बंद किया जाना चाहिए, तो उसके बाद जाकर ये तय किया कि हमको जो करना था वो हमने कर लिया
जी।
अब उसके बाद इस युद्ध को आगे बढ़ाने का कोई औचित्य अब नहीं है। आवश्यकता पड़ेगी फिर करेंगे।
ये आप लोग बार बार बोल रहे हैं, इसका क्या अभी भी लगता है कि कुछ ऐसी स्थिति बनी हुई है कि उसको दोबारा करना पड़ेगा ऑपरेशन सिंदूर को?
अब ये तो भविष्य के गर्भ में छिपा हुआ है, क्या होगा कैसे होगा। लेकिन ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के बारे में स्पष्ट कर देना चाहता हूं कि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हमारा समाप्त नहीं हुआ है, हाल फिलहाल ही स्थगित है।
क्योंकि आपने
और देखिए हम लोगों ने क्या सावधानी बरती। आतंकवादियों ने चोरी छुपे घुसकर भारत की सीमा के अंदर हमारे निर्दोष नागरिकों को मारा
जी।
हम लोगों ने टारगेट किया, जो टेररिस्ट सेंटर्स थे उन्हीं को टारगेट किया है पाकिस्तान में। आम जनता को हम लोगों ने नहीं मारा है। इतनी सावधानी बरतने वाले हमारी इस गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर भी कभी कभी लोग आरोप लगाते हैं कि ये मजहब के आधार पर भेदभाव करते हैं, जात के आधार पर भेदभाव करते हैं। अरे भारत तो एक ऐसा देश है जहां के ऋषियों और मनीषियों ने भारत की सीमा में रहने वाले लोगों को ही अपने परिवार का सदस्य नहीं माना है, बल्कि पूरे विश्व की धरा पर रहने वाले लोगों को अपने परिवार का सदस्य मानते हुए वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का संदेश सारे विश्व को दुनिया की किसी धरती से गया है तो केवल और केवल हमारे और आपके भारत देश की धरती से गया है।
आपने ये बात बड़ी स्पष्टता से आज ही नहीं पहले भी कही है, आपकी सरकार ने भी कही है कि भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच में और कोई नहीं था।
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. Have you heard the story about the boy who cried wolf? That's the story of AI in our job market. We've heard so many warnings about artificial intelligence taking over jobs, so many that at some